Howdy, and welcome to Broken Tool Garage. Working on my brakes on my '89 Mustang. Now, I've converted these from drum brakes to the disc brakes, like off the, I used the New Edge axle, the 8.8, so it has the disc on there. And I'm just going through, they're not quite holding as well as I think they should, so I need to adjust those up a little bit. So I've got automatic, I don't have the emergency brake cable on there, because that should, I guess, adjust those up. I'm not super familiar with these brakes, so I'm going to show you how I'm going through and tightening those up just a little bit more, so we got a good stopping power on the rear. Now the rears usually don't do a whole lot, but they need to be able to do something, right? Or what's the point in having brakes at all in the back, right? So that's what I'm going through. I did the other side, got that adjusted where I want it, and I'm about to do this side, and then I'm going to go through bleeding the brakes as well. Alright, well, enough of me rambling. Let's just show me doing stuff. Okay, so these I'm just going to do a little bit of a clean on right here and scuff them up, and then do some anti-seize on the back of them, just because they look a little dirty, and I had some trouble getting the hub off, so I want to go through and do that as well on the hub. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to do brakes and upgrade the pads. I think I want to go with some, instead of a stock replacement style, go with a better grip pad. As far as I know, there's not an inner and outer on these, so thankfully that's one less thing I can mess up. Alright, I'll use this on the hub over there, and I seize the back of these and put it back together. You saw how I did the adjustment. Counterclockwise brings it out, just like have your unthreading a bolt, right? Lefty loosey, righty tighty. So right goes in, but you have to have the pressure on there for it to engage. You don't have to have a whole lot, just that little small clamp I have on there, just a little bit, and then it'll allow it to come back in. If not, you'll just keep spinning it, and you won't get anywhere. Okay, wrestling with it, and I forgot those little slots right there. Have to line up and down with a little dot on the brake pad. If not, you will have a hard time getting them off. So let me try this again with these slots lined up. Should go right on. Funny, huh? Yes, indeed, it actually did go right on. I think I need to adjust it out just a hair, though. Oh, but yeah, fits much better now. But I'm looking at that slot right there. I want to take that out of it, which that ain't too bad. That ain't too bad. We just want to tighten up just a bit more and then get a good bleed on everything. And that is just like what I was saying. Wires. So what I'm going to do is, I don't want to turn it a full turn because that'll be way too much. I'm going to turn it just a little bit and then I'll come back that same amount because it won't adjust in, but the back will clock it because you got to have pressure to adjust it in, right? So I'm going to come out just a hair. Yeah, it's maybe 1/8-ish of a turn. Now I've got to come back the same amount so the dots line up and see what we win. Oh yeah, see that's where I want it. Yeah, that tightened it up a little bit better right there. A little bit of wiggle in there, but not a whole lot, not a bunch of excessive amount like what it was. And like I said, I probably need to get my emergency brake cable hooked up, and that'll pull right here so it'll adjust. And then I need to get a good bleed on there. The other thing that you need to watch out for on these is the little spring the slide pins. They have a little slot in them, and there's a slot in the rotor, or the caliper, sorry. And those have to line up, or else you won't get it to come in there real good. I can't see the screen, but you got the flat spot there, it has to line up with there. Yeah, it can be a dirty job, you know, with anti-seize everywhere. But yeah, that's as simple as it is, and then just tighten them down. I put anti-seize on the bolts because I don't want them locking up. So I've had that happen before, and it sucks. And that's it. You just saw me adjust it right there. That's what you got to do, unless you want to loosen it up, and then that's when you use the clamp. Put a little bit of pressure on it, just a little bit, and then it'll engage that and make it screw back in. Don't need a hammer, you know. If you're using a hammer, probably wrong. Might need a pry bar or hammer to get it off there. But yeah, I started to do that, and you know, the thing is, whenever things aren't going real smooth, and you're doing something, especially the first time, you might want to double check and make sure you're doing it right. And I was not doing it right, so we all fall to that. All right, well, there's that part, and then I'll get to bleeding. The brakes, not me. Alright, here we go. I got it up there. I think it's not leaking. So, there we go. Crack the bleeder open just a wee bit. Get some little bit of vacuum on there. So it should be pulling vacuum. It should have a flow going all the way down. Should be getting air bubbles out. Crack her open just a little more. There we go, there we go. Now that could be a little bit leak in this system because this isn't the top end kit right here. But I'm reasonably, like what I did on my dad's 97 Dodge, reasonably sure that I can get most of the air bubbles out. And you always got to go back and make sure that you're not draining the master cylinder, the cap's off. I need to make sure it's always topped off. Okay, so now I don't see, well, lost my vacuum pressure. I pumped it up a little bit more, and we're not seeing hardly anything come out right there. So that's pretty good. I'm going to lock it in place and call this one good and top off the master cylinder. And this is an 11 millimeter, not a 10 millimeter. I know some of y'all like 10 millimeters, but this is an 11 millimeter for this. All right, locked off. And I'll go do the other side. Now I'm on the far side of the car from the master cylinder, further spot away. Start there, go to the other side, and then I'll work on, well, doing the fronts is the same thing. So if you see me do this, you know how to do it. Anyways, that's what I'm tinkering with now. Since I enjoy pain, I'm going to change my thermostat out on my 5.0 Mustang over here, right? I don't like the way it works. It's like the factory 192, 194, or whatever it is. I'll stick a 180 in there, and I think I'll be happier with that. It's not that it's overheating. I just don't like where it flashes up to. And my ignition miss is back, so I'm going to be troubleshooting the, I don't know why I'm holding you when I'm sitting like right there. The ignition miss is back from last year at Autocross in October. You can watch that there. I talked about that ignition miss, and I had a plug issue, so I'm going to be going through, once I get the brakes and thermostat done, I'll do my test drives and see what's wrong with that. So that's a couple of things coming up on JYM. Nothing real exciting, but y'all might not have ever seen this. Alright, thanks for watching.